Hello, dear student. Today's topic of my lecture is Cauchy's theorem for groups. There are two theorems which we will discuss. The first theorem is Cauchy's theorem for finite abelian group. If G be a finite abelian group and a prime number P divides the order of G, that means what? P divides the order of G and order of G is finite. Then there exists an element A in G which is not equal to the identity, that is A is not equal to E in G, such that order of A will be P. That is, in this theorem we have to show if G be a finite abelian group, its order is finite and it is abelian, and a prime number P divides the order of G, then in G there will be an element A which is not equal to the identity whose order will be P. So we prove this theorem by applying mathematical induction on order of G. If we take order of G is 1, that is, then it will be only one, it has only one element and that will be the identity element, then the theorem is trivially true. Now we assume that theorem is true for every subgroup of G whose order is less than that of G. So suppose G has no proper subgroup. That is, the only subgroup of G are improper subgroup, that is identity E and G itself. Since P divides order of G, so order of G is equal to P. Since P divides order of G, the order of G will be P. Since it has no proper subgroup, the only subgroup will be G itself. So order of G will be P. Therefore, order of G is P. P is a prime number, and we know every group of prime order is cyclic. So it will be cyclic, since every group of prime order is cyclic. So if this G is cyclic, so there exists some element other than identity such that every element of G can be expressed as some integral power of that element. This is the property of cyclic groups. So suppose there exists an element A which is not equal to E in G, which generates G. That means every element of G can be expressed as a integral power of A. And for cyclic group, we know order of cyclic group is equal to order of its generator. Since order of G is P, so order of its generator A will also be P. And that's we have to show for this theorem if we suppose that G has no proper subgroup. Now we suppose G has a proper subgroup H of G. P divides order of H. Then since G is abelian, H is also abelian group such that order of H is less than order of G. Strictly less than, it will not be equal to order of G since it is a proper subgroup. Since this theorem is true for every finite abelian group of order less than that of G, so there exists an element A not equal to E in H such that order of A is equal to P. So that shows this theorem. Now we have to suppose H is any subgroup of G and P is not equal to order of H. Since H is a normal, G is a cyclic group, so its subgroup H will be a normal subgroup. So there exists A not equal to E in G such that order of A is P. Now we suppose H is a subgroup of G such that P is not equal to order of H. Since G is abelian and every subgroup of abelian group is normal, so H is a normal subgroup of G. So we can find a quotient group which is generated by H of the type G by H, which consists of the left cosets of G, left coset of H in G. And G is abelian because G by H, the quotient group will also be abelian since G is abelian. So now we know order of G by H, quotient group will be equal to order of G upon order of H. But order of H is greater than 1, less than order of G. So it will be less than order of G. So now P divides order of G, but P does not divide order of H. So this implies P divides order of G upon order of H. So this implies P divides order of G by H. Since G by H is a finite abelian group such that order of G by H is less than order of G, by equation 1 we have, and P divides order of G by H. So by induction theorem, this theorem is true for every subgroup whose order is less than G. So it will be the theorem is true for G by H. So this implies there exists some element other than element of G by H. G by H has elements of the cosets of H, so it is element HA other than identity H, such that order of HA is equal to P. Now we know that HA is a coset, right coset of H in G. Order of HA is P means HA to the power P is identity, and we know identity of G by H, that is quotient group, is H. So H A to the power P is equal to H. And we know this implies HA into HA into HA, P times is equal to H. And this, the composition of cosets we defined already, HA into HB is equal to HAB. So this will be equal to HAAAA P times equal to H. So this is HA to the power P is equal to H. So this implies when we know HA is equal to H, so A belongs to H. So that using that property of cosets, A to the power P belongs to H. So A to the power P to the power order of H is equal to identity. So this implies A to the power order of H to the power P is equal to identity. Let it take A to the power order of H be equal to small b. So we have proved that B to the power P is equal to E. This is your second equation. Now we have to show that, now we have to show H, we have to show order of B is not equal to E. We have to show B is not equal to A to the E. That is, or A to the power order of H is not equal to E. So HA to the power order of H is equal to HE is equal to H. So HA to the power order of H is equal to H. But order of HA is P. This implies P divides order of H, as HA is not equal to H, which is a contradiction. We have already assumed in our induction that P is not equal to order of H. So our assumption that B is equal to E is not correct. So B must not be equal to E. So once again, we have proved the theorem. So there exists an element B is not equal to E in B, G, such that B is equal to E. So this proves the theorem. I am just revising it. So we have to show if G is a finite abelian group and P is a prime number which divides order of G, that is P is divides order of G, then there exists an element A other than identity A is not equal to E, which is order of A is equal to P. So we have proved this theorem by using mathematical induction. First of all, we suppose that order of G is equal to 1, then the theorem is automatically proved. Then we apply induction that this theorem is true for every subgroup of G of order less than that of G. So first of all, we have considered two cases. G has no proper subgroup. In that case, P divides order of G, then order of G will be P, and P is a prime number, and every group of prime order is cyclic, so G will be cyclic. So this implies every element of G can be expressed as an integral power of some element of G, which is not equal to the identity element. So let us suppose that element be A, which is not equal to E in G, which generates G. So order of G is equal to P, and we know by the property of cyclic group, order of G is equal to order of its generator. So order of A will be equal to P. So this theorem is proved for this case when we suppose that G has no proper subgroup. So again, we suppose G has a proper subgroup. Let it be H. So order of H will be less than order of G, and P divides order of H. And if P divides order of H and H is abelian, so group order of H is less than order of G. By our assumption, this theorem is true for every subgroup whose order is less than G, so it will be true for H also. So this implies there exists some element A which is not equal to E in H, such that order of A is equal to P. Since now, suppose H is any subgroup of G such that P does not divide order of H. Since G is abelian and every subgroup of an abelian group is normal, so H is normal subgroup of G. So the quotient group exists. We can form a quotient group of which consists of cosets of H. So consider a quotient group G by H, and G by H is also abelian because G is abelian. So now also we know property by the property of quotient group that order of G by H is equal to order of G upon order of H. And since order of H is greater than 1, so this implies order of G upon order of H is less than order of G. But P divides order of G and P does not divide order of H. We have supposed it. But so P divides order of G by H by the property of divisor. So this implies G by H is a finite abelian group such that order of G by H is order of less than order of G, and P divides order of G by H. So by induction theorem, the theorem is true for G by H. So this implies there exists some element of G by H which is not equal to identity, which and such that order of that element will be P. Since G by H is a quotient group, so its order will be, its elements will be of the type of cosets. So which we have order of HA is equal to P. This implies HA to the power is equal to H. So now we are applying the property of cosets, composition of cosets, that is HA into HB is equal to HAB. So by using this and the second theorem, we have used that if A belongs to H, then HA is equal to H. So by using this theorem, we have A to the power P belongs to H. So A to the power P, order of H will be identity, the identity of H, and E is the identity of G. So this we can say A to the power order of H to the power P is equal to E. We take A to the power order of H as B to the power P is equal to identity. So now we have left to show that B is not equal to E. So let us suppose B is equal to E. So if B is equal to E, or A to the power order of H is equal to E, so HA to the power order of H is equal to HE, which is equal to H. So HA to the power order of H is equal to H, but order of HA is equal to P, and this implies P divides order of H, as HA is equal to H. H is not equal to H, which is a contradiction. We have already supposed that P does not divide the order of H. So our assumption that B is equal to E is wrong. So B is not equal to E. So we have proved this theorem for the second case. So now this was the theorem for Cauchy's theorem for finite abelian group. Now we are going to discuss Cauchy's theorem for finite group. It is not abelian. So the statement of this theorem is what? If G be a finite group and a prime number P divides the order of G. Here the difference is what? In the last theorem we have taken G as an abelian group. Here we are taking G as a finite group. So a prime number P divides the order of G, then G has an element other than E such that order of A is equal to P. So let us prove this theorem. We again prove this theorem by using the method of mathematical induction on order of G. If order of G is 1, then the theorem is trivially true. Now we assume that order of G is greater than 1. And let us assume that theorem is true for each finite group of order less than that of G, as in last case. So now we have two cases when G has no proper subgroup and G has a proper subgroup. So we consider the first case when G has no proper subgroups. Since G has no proper subgroup, so it must be prime of prime order. That since P divides order of G, and we know that every group of prime order is cyclic. So order of G will be P, and P is a prime number. So every group of prime order is cyclic. So P divides order of G. Hence order of G is prime and order of G must be equal to P. So this implies order of G is P, which is greater than 1. And we know that every group of prime order is cyclic. So G is also cyclic. So since G is cyclic, every element of G can be expressed as some integral power of an element of G which is not equal to E. So A is not equal to E, be a generator of G. We know order of G is equal to order of A. Since in a cyclic group, order of group is equal to order of a generator. So by using that theorem, we have easily this. So there exists some element A which is not equal to identity E in G such that order of A is equal to P. That's the theorem we have to show. So we have proved this theorem for case 1 when G has no proper subgroup. So let us consider the case 2 when G has a proper subgroup. The only difference between this theorem and the previous theorem, we have taken G as a abelian group in the previous theorem and we have not taken G as a abelian group in this. So when G has a proper subgroup, let H be a proper subgroup of G. So order of H is less than order of G. So now if we have two cases, whether P divides order of H or not. So first we consider case A. If P divides order of H, then P divides order of H by induction hypothesis. This theorem is true. So there exists an element A in H such that order of A is equal to P. So second case, if P does not divides order of H, so we consider class equation of G. We have already discussed what the class equations are. So order of G is equal to order of G upon order of Na, where summation runs sums over one element A in each conjugate class, and Na is normalizer. We have already defined normalizer, center, and everything. So you can understand it very well. So if G be the center of G, Z be the center of G, and A belongs to center, we know center of G is those set of those elements which will commute with A. So if A belongs to Z, if and only if order of Na is equal to order of G. So this implies order of G upon order of Na is equal to 1. So if A does not belongs to Z, that is A is not in center, then the class equation takes the form order of G is equal to order of Z plus summation A not equal to Z, order of G upon order of Na. We have discussed this is in previous lecture. So this is, since A is not in G, so this implies Na will not be equal to G. So Na is improper subgroup of G, and P divides order of Na. P does not divides order of Na. So P divides order of G and P does not divide order of Na. But by the division theorem, P divides order of G upon order of Na. So P divides summation A not equal to Z, order of G upon order of Na. So we have P divides order of, we have what? P divides order of G and P divides this. So we know that if P divides A1 and P divides A2, so P divides A1 minus A2. So by using that property, P divides order of G minus order of G upon order of Na. And by this equation, order of G minus order of this summation will be equal to order of G, order of Z, sorry, Z is center. So now we have P divides order of Z. Since we know center of a group is a normal subgroup, so Z is a subgroup of G and P divides order of Z, but we have assumed that P does not divide any proper subgroup of G. So this implies Z must be improper subgroup. So Z is equal to G. Since Z is abelian, we know the center Z is set of all those element X belonging to G such that with Xa is equal to Ax. So this implies Z is abelian. So since Z is equal to G, so G is also abelian. So by the previous theorem, which is theorem for finite abelian group, the Cauchy theorem for finite abelian group, we have there exists an element A which is not equal to E in G such that order of A is equal to P. Since so that we have proved the theorem for this case, I hope you understand the two theorem. These are very important theorem. And that's all for my lecture.